Race to the Stones 2022. The first 100k race I've ever attempted, and my first that's put on by Threshold Trail Series. It was to be my longest race of the year, and it's one of the biggest ultramarathons in the UK in terms of participants. It sticks mainly to the Ridgeway National Trail from Watlington in Oxfordshire to the Neolithic Stone Circle in Avebury, Wiltshire. It was also to be the hottest day of the year so far, so while I had my eye on a sub 13 hour finish, I was ready to rein in my ambitions and roll with whatever the weather gods had in store for us.
Good luck everyone! Good luck everyone! Have a great day! Good luck racing! Oh yeah! Here we go! That dog over there is loving it! The weekend has begun! Good luck waiting! Morning, how are you? Good?
Thank you.
Only go if you heard the safety briefing.
After we'd started, he told us to only start if we'd already heard the safety briefing, which I hadn't, but I figured I'd get going anyway. In a safe manner, of course. Probably the warmest day of the year so far, I think. Looked at the scales about 31, and just sheltering in this tree line here. We're on the UK's oldest. Is it the UK's oldest footpath? It's an enormous race. There's thousands of people, all running different distances in different numbers of days, and my challenge is to run 100 kilometres before I go to sleep today, and that'll hopefully take me about 13 hours, but I made that plan before I saw the forecast, so we'll probably be a little bit slower than that today. My first Threshold Trail event, and it's, to be honest, it's the best organised race I've ever been to, especially considering the number of people, thousands of people as I said. So yeah, let's get on with it. Try and stay cool. The opening few kilometres were on very narrow footpaths between fields, and though it wasn't too overcrowded, it did feel quite claustrophobic at certain points. I struggled for a while to get into a comfortable rhythm without getting boxed in like this. However, by kilometre 8, the field had thinned out. Just had my breakfast, some delicious junk food, and just going down this massive hill. Down some steps in a moment, up the other side, checkpoint, and yeah, to try and make quick work while the sun is still in hiding over there. Morning. Do you want to do a jump for the camera? The race has loads of sponsors, and as a result, loads of fancy food at the checkpoints. Throughout the early miles, the race goes through these nice green trails, through fields and tiny old villages with these huge farm buildings.
Morning.
This is probably one of the most photographed parts of the route, a descent down through a narrow path in a crop field. So it's nice that this bit is the most beautiful bit of the course, and it's right near the start. It's at about 12k, I think, and it's looking lovely out here. Try not to get too close to that guy in a kilt on the uphills. I like this bit of the path because it feels old, you know, it feels like this path has been carved into the earth over centuries. A little issue with nosebleed, about 15k. Hope it's not a big one. I need all the blood I have. So this is me now, half a pint My nosebleed was probably brought on by the hot weather and lasted for about half an hour. Thankfully, it gradually stopped after I walked for about 10 minutes. About 20k gone. I've been through the checkpoint and fixed my nose and my hands and everything that was covered in blood. And now I'm just going down these beautiful country roads. Hello, so I'm very excited because we've just arrived at what I assume must be the River Thames. Look at this. Hello! 26 kilometres done, over a quarter of the way there. This is the flattest section now, I think. For about 10 kilometres I've been on flat roads and grassy paths, and according to the watch, up ahead are the sort of the steepest climbs on the course. Third of the way there, 33k, the sun's just come out, it's pretty warm. Been going up this hill for about 3 kilometres. Oh, 4k until the next checkpoint. Let's see. Coming up to 40k. Sun is overhead. It's very warm, very exposed. It's just farmers' tracks for I don't know, about the last 10k, I think, since we got out of Goring. It's very beautiful. I mean, it's rolling hills for as far as you can see. And I think this is the first bit I run now where I've never been on this trail before, so it's all new from here to the end, I reckon. So that's fun. Hello. About 47 kilometres or so. A few kilometres from the base camp. Don't know if that's what I can see twinkling in the distance. It's a bit close, but I don't see what else there could be out here. We are in the middle of nowhere. It's very, very hot. It's so hot. And there's no uphills to sort of make you walk, and there's no easy downhills to just sort of coast along for a while, so it's all on this sort of very thin track, sort of rutted ground, and lots of cyclists out on the trail today. Hiya. Hi. Hello. Some more talkative than others. I'll check back in at base camp, which is halfway, around 50k. This is a memorial obelisk in memory to an important sounding man, Robert Lloyd Lindsay, also known as Lord Wantage. It was erected by his wife in 1901. This was the halfway point, also referred to as base camp for the competitors who would be camping here overnight to resume in the morning. For the non-stop 100k runners, it was just another aid station, but with the added joy of a man with a microphone. These flags make me feel very medieval, very befitting of the race theme. That's very well done. So as the watch shows, I've got 47k in the bank, but I know that's 50 because we just passed halfway. And as the hand shows, I have an immense amount of snacks, and all my pockets are full as well. So I feel a bit like a hobbit today, going on a grand adventure. Second breakfast, third breakfast, and probably a few lunches just to come. So it's a nice day, really. The next couple of hours were on more exposed paths, but these ones were stony and chalky. This bright white path looks fairly cool. Just passing the 59km mark. We're taking this weird little path down to the pit stop. Adds on about 1.5 kilometres, part of the distance obviously, so it's fine, but it's pretty shit to run on. Keep tripping. Every time I went to throw something away, I spent about 2 minutes trying and failing to understand what was written on any of these signs. It's funny how ultra running can turn some people illiterate. About 35 kilometres to go, so 65k done. I think everyone out here is slowly baking. We are in this trail tunnel which the Ridgeway sort of goes along, and it blocks the wind quite well. So it's like the opposite of a wind tunnel, it's a still tunnel. And yeah, the heat's radiating off the ground and from the air, and yeah, I guess it's pretty tough going. But to be honest, like, the legs are okay. I've got no real reason to smash this race. I'm not trying to beat a PB. I'm not well, obviously I'm not trying to win the thing, but I'm not trying to set a great time or anything. Eating and drinking, all the usual stuff, and sweating. So much sweating is happening. Yeah, and walking too. A lot of walking. A lot of people are walking here. It's pretty flat. But yeah, the race title, Race to the Stones, isn't joking. It's really so many stones. Hi, thanks. You're saying I look 100 years old. Have a good one. Well, buddy. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Hi, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Thank you. My God, a bit of shade finally. Just spent about 15-20 minutes in that aid station. Just resetting a little bit. Trying to cool down and get some calories in and let the stomach settle a bit. I think it's called laziness. I think that's a technical term. About 26k to go, so not really very far in the grand scheme of things, but I'm sure it'll feel far. Holy shit. "24 kilometers to go." I'm feeling a lot better now after that sit down back there. Even though it's still hot, I can kind of feel the temperature is starting to cool down. The sun is high in the sky, but it's casting longer shadows, and if there are any trees on the side of the trail, hopefully we'll get some shade now. It's a lovely breeze up here. You can tell I've just eaten because I'm talking in sentences, not slurring my words. I'm not lying down. Look at that, best of British countryside. And though you can't really see it, well, in fact you definitely can't see it because you can only see cornfields just over that little corn ridge is Lidington Castle, or the remains of it. It's an Iron Age fort and it's basically a hill. Maybe I will find a picture and put it over my face right now so you can see how it looks. Anyway, I'm doing something that I didn't think I would be doing more of today, and that's jogging a little bit, and it feels nice. Getting to the finish slightly quicker. I think my race is pretty much shot and I don't really mind too much. I'm just exploring. Well, when I say exploring, I'm basically following the marked trail and seeing what I find, and it's quite fun. And up here, hidden in the grass, is a 75 kilometre marker. Hello, 20k to go. Still feeling pretty good. Had a little chat on the phone there. My wife just gave me a call, and my best mate Alex, who lives in California, shout out to you, old man, just gave me a call and we talked music for a while. Yeah, it's cool. It's cooling down. The sun is not directly overhead, so we've got shadows and shade, as you can see. There are some more hills. Apparently there's 2 mega hills coming up after some flattish bits here, and after that apparently the footway kind of gets really narrow. Apparently it's not quite wide enough for a foot, so that should be interesting to figure out how to navigate those. Got 19 kilometers to go, and this is the steepest downhill section of the course so far. Absolute quad buster. 81k to go. Look at these views, nice. Just been chatting with a guy, I can't even remember his name. Very nice guy. He's talking about YouTube running videos and that. Every time we talk I forget to get my camera out, so shout out to that guy. Oh, back under the trees. Camera's running low, so I'm going to turn this off and maybe wake it up at the finish line, unless something really exciting happens before then.
Nothing much did end up happening, but maybe I can interest you in overtaking a farmer's car through a gate, a mildly interesting fallen tree, some cows giving me sideways looks. No, maybe not that interesting then. However, joking aside, the tone of the day would suddenly change at kilometre 90 when something genuinely shocking occurred a short distance behind me.
Hello, so something very upsetting just happened. A lady right behind me slipped and hit her head on the ground and had a seizure. made me feel quite, just worried about her, and 9 or 10 kilometres to go. And just my thoughts to that lady who fell, such a horrible way, and her mum was there fortunately, and when she fell, so I just hope she gets to the hospital, and I hope she makes an immediate recovery.
I lived with epilepsy as a child, and in the past I've had some seizures after long races like these, so seeing someone else suffering the same was really gut-wrenching, as I know what it's like to experience and what it's like for the runner's mum to have to watch. That said, fortunately there were several people nearby when it happened. Everyone stopped to help. We kept her awake, breathing and warm, and called 999 and the race medic. In the end I found out that she managed to be evacuated off the trail to hospital fairly quickly, and I hope she makes a speedy recovery. It did change the mood of the afternoon for me, and it put into context the frivolous nature of ultra running when compared to people's health and well-being. However, despite the emergency, I still had a race to get on with, so I turned my attention towards getting it done. In 2022, Race to the Stones was actually Race to the Cone. The race company wasn't able to get permission from English Heritage to run between the stones, so the official race route was around a traffic cone. That said, there were no rules against us going through the gate to have a look, so that's what I did. After all, we had gone all that bloody way.
Pretty beautiful. Well, there are stones, they said there would be. Finish line is at the end of this little section of road. It's been a beautiful day. In terms of goals, I finished. Which means I get my Western States qualifier. I didn't get 13 hours. It's going to come in around, I don't know, near 14 probably. What a cool finishing shoot. Beat the sunset as well. Just about. Look at this. Like UTMB.
Welcome, Chris.
Nice one, mate.
You take your bag from us.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Right, head down here, we'll go and locate it for you. Well
Thanks so much, cheers.
Here we go. A few more through the line. Leslie, Mark, and Tim. Leslie, Mark, Tim. All through the line. Well done.
It was a brilliant finishing experience, a really good finish line area, and a perfectly organised race. As I sat on the shuttle bus which took us back home, I knew that running wise my day hadn't been quite perfect. But the reason I'd turned up was to experience a challenge on lovely sunny trails, and in that sense, it was perfect. Thank you very much for watching.